Finding flexible methods to weave into your everyday life is really tricky. I feel like inherently humans, we thrive off of routine. We feel a lot more put at ease when we have constant reinforcement of the realities that we've chosen. And when that reality deviates from our routine, our norm, when it would be rather much more convenient to follow through and just keep doing the same thing, that's when the universe kind of knocks us off our game. I did this reading because I just felt called to. I felt a lot of anxiety and like irritation, a deep seated wrath inside of my spirit. So I don't know what this reading is going to be like. I hope you're down to ride this wave with me. For those who aren't very versed in astrological or tarot terms, I will be utilizing the simplest language that I possibly can muster in order to explain everything. Apologies to those who are a little bit more seasoned and know what the tarot cards mean, or the zodiac signs mean, or transits and the other and the like and all that good stuff. The way I do tarot spreads, the center card always represents the either present or the heart of the matter. The heart of the matter or your present current feelings related to the thing. Just intuitively off rip, I feel this sort of emptiness with this everything is fine card in the reverse, which is of course the Ten of Swords in the reverse. There's this feeling of emptiness. There's this feeling of lack of nourishment, lack of touch and feeling. Like I'm searching and trying to pull from, my inner knowledge, my inner knowing, my inner feeling for love, for affirmation, for verification, and I'm just not finding that. And so there's this feeling of like being in limbo, but not a wait, really. I don't feel like there's like, oh, I'm waiting for it to come, I'm waiting to feel this love. Like, no, there's no waiting here. There's no concept of time. There's just now. There's just presence, and this presence just feels ever. It feels ever present. It feels like it's never going to go away. It feels like I cannot see or acknowledge past this point of emotion right now, or this lack of feeling right now. And because of that, I see no future. Because I cannot feel the future, I see no future. I have no expectations for the future. There may be a feeling of like lack associated with this feeling currently, collective wise. It's really funny that I'm expressing all of these emotions or lack thereof, knowing that the sign of Leo rules the heart in our bodies. Also, the heart exists in the the 7 chakra system, and that symbol, the heart chakra, is what connects us, connects our emotions, connects the human experience to that of others, so that we can come together. And there's just a feeling that this is missing. And I say that this is just interesting for me watching occur in this intuitive landscape, because at the root of these feelings come from those of the Aquarian demeanor, with the star card being ruled by Aquarius, obviously Uranus, revolution. What else? I love this card because it represents humanitarianism and a connectedness through detachment. So when this happens, it essentially means that caring for another human being, I don't have to inherently feel anything. Waffles, go away. She loves tarot cards. What it means is that I do not have to connect with your experience on an emotional level just to care about you, or just to want to see you succeed, or just to want to see your needs get met. I don't need to connect with you. I don't need your experience to resonate with mine in order to care about you. It's essentially what this card means. It's in the placement that I'd like to call the root. So the grounding force pulling us into reality. What makes this an intriguing placement is because of the fact that, Pluto is in the sign of Aquarius, for the next 20 or so years. Representing that we are all collectively on a human level transforming the way that we connect with other human beings. And so that makes me think perhaps that, this feeling of emptiness or this lack of connection that we are all feeling is being tempered or being reformed so that we can connect with humanity or other beings in a way that does not necessarily need to validate our own experience. Does that make sense? Eight of Wands in the reverse on our left-handed path. So in our intuition, perhaps in the place of nostalgia, in our past. This can also represent where we are now. And then with the Ten of Swords is like the where we are going to. And then the right-handed card is more like, where we are, what the end result will be. So an Eight of Wands in the reverse is kind of communicating to me more presently just the existence of the retrogrades that are currently in effect right now. Namely Mercury and Venus, both in Aries in retrograde. And we're kind of being asked to, as opposed to impulsively acting on our whims and feeling, sensations, places in which we may be or find irritation easily. We are kind of being asked to come back and not have an immediate reaction to these things. We're being asked to approach our feelings and sensations with a more level head, with more air-like energy, the element of air. So logic. We're being asked to be logical about things. We are being asked to use our intellect. We are being asked to let's reflect on our past and how we have previously acted on irritating situations and what we actually gained from that or what we lost as a result of acting on those impulses. So how does this all tie into with this feeling of lack and abandonment and disconnection while we're in this period of reformation in the way that we connect to other human or living beings? Well, I think the best way to approach this is the card in the very top of this spread, the oracle card that I pulled, holding space for love, non-judgment, discernment, self-acceptance. When we accept ourselves, we don't need to look at another person and say, oh, I see me in you. I see me in you. We don't have to make that idea. We don't have to make that relationship between us and the other. Because what that does is it reaffirms to our sense of security and our sense of humanity that, oh, we are safe because this person is like us, is a human. Oh, forgive me. I like playing my anime in the background of stuff. Go down, please. All right, boom. Right. As I was saying, making this relationship between us and the other only serves to reaffirm our own identities. That's what the idea is. And there's nothing inherently wrong with this. It's just kind of burnt out. It's at a point of burning out. What I feel is that people will be quick to kind of misplace this transformative energy as to say, oh, well, I just need to accept any and everyone for whatever they do, even if it goes against my, like, say, morals, like that, or they've done me wrong or something. I think what it actually just comes down to is a refusal to say that someone else's existence, just by existing, inherently harms or disavows my existence or what I'm doing. What it actually ends up doing is eliminating this feeling of competition that we all on a human level feel between one another, because unfortunately, especially with the pervasiveness of capitalism and imperialism, financial dominance via the government in the upper class, via domination through race, unfortunately, sexual orientation, unfortunately, values as per related to or upheld by the state. It eliminates that threat, because these affiliations prey upon that anxiety, that gnawing, that, you know, our lives could be taken away by strangeness or difference inherently, you know. I feel like that has been a pervasive situation, obviously, since ironically since it goes way, back than that. The human species, for as long as it's been in conception, it's taken us a long time to really learn and grasp things, and we have to try things over and over again. You see that in history. You see there are points in history where, and I'm not just talking European civilization, we're decentering that, okay? Don't get in the mindset of that. Across the globe, as human beings, we've all had spikes in our societies, right? For whatever reason. And then for one reason or another, there's a plague, there's a natural disaster, there's something that comes along and is like, yeah, okay, yeah, we gonna start over. It's like, is it that story of Nineveh? No, I don't think it's Nineveh. I forget. But it's essentially the whole Noah's Ark flood story. It's called something else because it was originally originally recorded within Sumerian texts long before it was in the Bible. And that's no shade. That's just historical context. So if we have this whole flood wiping out, these sort of situations tend to reoccur repetitively within history on Earth thus far. Or you know what? Let's not even touch on the human aspect. Let's just go back to the dinos. How long were the dinos walking around the Earth? It was a whole different situation, and it was not like this. In the human mind's eye of conception, nothing like how we exist now, but it existed. It doesn't negate the fact that that was a period in time that did exist. What else can I say about that? But yeah, them lizards were wiped out by a meteor. So interesting to say such a thing, right? A meteor. When we think a meteor hitting the Earth now, we're like, oh my God, it's over for us. Like, we're dead. We're like, the earth would just never, like, it's just not, it's just a boom. Like, a meteor hits us and we're just boom. Like, the whole earth, like, boom, we are little tiny specks of dust now, the whole entire planet. And it's like, well, a meteor already hit us and we were fine. The dinos weren't. But you know what the dinos did? They evolved into something else. They transformed with the energetic shift that occurred at that time. It took a long time, but I think it also is just interesting to me how the process of evolution and what it shows is that the earth and species, living, breathing species, or maybe it is just the earth, but like there are already plans set in motion for evolution. Because after that meteor hit, there were already species that were like thriving and cultivating and like hardly affected by such what we would consider a cataclysmic destructive event. So yeah, that's my little tangent on that. Right, we were talking about non-judgment and self-acceptance and all of that. Yeah, because I'm like, look, listen, we go through these crazy transformative experiences as, multi-species. And what we can't do is, I guess what I'm trying to say is that these things keep happening for one reason or another. Don't let that stop you from growing. Don't let that stop you from evolving. And don't let someone else's existence or the way that they do things or the way that they perceive reality to affect your own, at least not on the inside. Externally, maybe that's a different story, but like as far as like who you are on a spiritual level, like don't do that. I don't care who I'm talking to. I don't care who my audience is. I don't care what side of the political spectrum you are on, because you need to hear this. Get your head out of your own ass and stop telling yourself that the existence of someone else just living their life inherently makes yours worse. We are a united species that needs help to take care of ourselves. And when we live in a society that continues to tell us that, like, no, that's not true, you just need to rely on yourself and like worship the other guys in order to get ahead, they're lying to you. They're selling you a fantasy, and you're smarter than that. You're braver than that. You're more intelligent than that. You can create your own story. That is why God or goddess or whatever higher mode of operation that you claim put us on this earth. And so that we can create, get away from the bread, Waffles. You already had a piece. No. She was trying it. She already stole a piece of bread already, and I let her have it. I'm not doing it again. We're not doing it again. But anyway, yeah, like I was saying, I don't care. You are smart. You are intelligent. You have an imaginative brain of all your own. Your livelihood is not duly subjugated, regulated to that of the external reality that presents itself. It all starts from within, inside. And if your reality fucking sucks on the outside, then I ask you personally to just do some honest self-reflection. What are you doing to allow your reality to be shit? That's all I gotta say about that. We have one more card left. The Knight of Wands in the reversed, present in our future, or where we're going, or the resulting outcome of our just acknowledging these feelings, really, because I think that's what Goddess really wants us to focus on, in harmony with, the current transits in our skies, is that I need all of us to remember that it's not all going to be solved in a day. It's also not all going to crash down on us in a day. There are elements there. We see the signs ahead of time. We do, believe it or not. And I just want us to utilize this time, especially during this retrograde season for the next month and a half, that any feeling of lack or absence we feel is space for us to bring something new in. And I just want to make sure that all of us are utilizing this space to create a new reality and not perpetuate modes of harm that keep us outside of the means of evolution and growth. Remember, again, the card at the very top, pulling all of this together, is holding space for love. Holding space for love. And the source of that love needs to come from self. Again, with the future outcome, the result is a lot more subdued manner of healing or mode of transportation. I need you all to know that once these retrogrades are over, it's not back to business like it's going off, bombs are going off, raining from the sky, bam, bam. Like, it's still a slow moving crawl, and you need to be prepared for that. And, and the imagery that I provided is not just... I don't just mean that on a political global scale. I mean in your own homes. I mean in your own neighborhoods. I mean in your spirit. I mean in the way that you live life, and maybe even the projects or the initiations you want to move off the ground, right? Or push off into, a level of existence and conception or realization. Is that these things are still going to take time, and you may find that you enjoy the ride. You may find that you enjoy the journey of being a little bit more subdued, of being a little bit slower, of being a little more cautious, because then you get to allow yourself to be molded and changed and transformed instead of, going in too hard on trying to make things happen to or for you. I'm very wary of, when I think of the word make, trying to make something, I think of the word force. And when I think of the word force, I think of a particular R word. And I don't like that. I feel like in my life personally, like I said, that's my flow of consciousness. When I hear make, I think force, and then I think the R word. And then I'm like, I'm not trying to make nothing happen because I'm not trying to force anything to happen, and I'm not trying to R word anything or anyone. I want consent. And when we want consent from the universe, we want consent from our spouse, we want consent from, our nonprofit organizations, our business partnerships, our families. We have to actually just sit and be like, okay, I'm not going to make any judgments. I'm just going to sit here and wait. I'm just going to draw that in. I'm going to draw in instead of pointing a finger or pushing or spend my well-earned nights of rest obsessing about it, because a lot of us are programmed to utilize obsession and anxiety as tools of manifestation. And at this point in time, it's just really not very beneficial. And we can get into that in a different recording, because anxiety is a tool of manifestation. So is anger. All of our emotions are tools of such a thing. But with the transits that are occurring in our skies, notably Pluto and Aquarius for the next 20 years, it's not going to be that simple. Aquarius is asking something else of us. We can't just run off of passion and impulse alone. We need something else. All right, y'all. This has been our little collective reading and whatnot. I intuitively felt. We'll see how I'm gonna be able to share this with y'all on social media, because I'm not conventional when it comes to sharing these things on social media. I'm not going to do it the same way everybody else does it. So I hope y'all rock with me and appreciate what y'all get, and let me know how y'all felt. Blah, blah, blah. Maybe I'll even put this on my SLP account. It's going to be cool. Okay. Love you. Bye.